Hi everybody, welcome to my channel Living the Red Dot. This is me from Singapore. Today I have for you quite a few perfumes. Let's see, one, two, three, four, five, six perfumes from the house of Hermes, and they are all from the Onjaden series, so the garden series. If this is something you're interested in, please stay tuned. Hi everyone, so like I said, I have 6 perfumes for you from the house of Hermes. All 6 are from the garden series or the Onjaden series perfume collection or eau de toilette collection from Hermes. And I have a mixture of full bottles, samples, and sample vials that I'm going to go through in this collection. It's not going to be in depth. It's more of the experience or my experience of in trying out these perfumes. Although I find all 6 are beautiful. This line is not my favorite because yes, they are all unisex, but I find they lean a bit more masculine to me. So they're just not something that I get drawn to. It's not something that I would wear every day because I am a gourmand sweet perfume lover. So, but they're all great for EDTs. The longevity is amazing for all of them. Yeah, so if these are the type of scents you're interested in, then they are worth the money. So the first one I would like to talk about will be the first perfume that is released in this Onjaden series, and that is the Onjaden Mediterranean, a garden in the Mediterranean. So this was released in 2003, and I have a sample vial right here. I believe the box also looks like this. So it's very blue, like that. This is how the bottle looks, and as expected, I've never been to the Mediterranean, but I imagine that Mediterranean, it will be all about being near the Mediterranean Sea. So this perfume really evokes that feel. It is very refreshing. It has a lot of citrus in the beginning. The citrus notes is just so uplifting. It's so beautiful that, you know, the first time you smell it, you're just like, oh, you know, like I really love that smell. So it's a very, very fresh perfume. It's excellent for a very hot day. Makes you feel cool and fresh, and it is very sophisticated casual. Like I imagine, you know, wearing this, having an alfresco lunch, you know, by the sea, and just wearing kind of like a button down linen shirt, you know, like, you know, not buttoned all the way up, maybe up to here, rolled up sleeves, some slim fitting khakis, and loafers. Like it is very, very relaxed that way, but European elegant. Yeah. And yeah, so I think it's only next to Monsieur Li in terms of that citrusy feel for it. Like, because even though it does have that citrusy beginning, it's not quite linear. It does transform a bit, and it becomes a bit too masculine. I'm not sure what it is that makes it more masculine, but I definitely imagine it's as something more for a guy or a strong woman like wearing it. I'm not saying it's not good for women, but I see it more for a guy, but a strong boss lady who is having a day off could definitely, like, you know, suit this perfume. So very, very nice scent. Onjaden Mediterranean. So yeah, Mediterranean, a garden in the Mediterranean. Very, very aptly named. Also, the series is mostly, the nose is Jean-Claude Helena. very, very famous nose. And yeah, so I think this was a hit. um, I would probably get this in a small bottle, but not a full bottle. Still not quite my thing. Next that came up, check my notes because there's quite a few, would be Sur Le Nil. So Onjaden Sur Le Nil. So it's a garden on the Nile. Again, never been to that area. Not quite sure what to expect, but I do expect that this is a bit, the area being imagined is a bit more kind of like wet, marshy. One of the notes is bulrushes, so there will be all these bulrushes growing on the Nile, the banks of the river Nile. And I think to me this perfume, Onjaden Sur Le Nil, which looks like this, green, very green, this. So this is a very green perfume. It to me is the most unique out of all the perfumes in this series, because it just has this kind of like vegetal, we call it vegetal, kind of like green vegetable note to it. And this is the perfume that I love to love, but I just don't. I can't. It's a scrubber for me, this one. Yeah, it's just very marsh-like. So it's wet. It's got that wet ground, earthy scent to it, mixed with, that green kind of vegetable note. It's just not my thing. It's refreshing, which is I think what makes it unique. It's refreshing, but at the same time it feels like wet ground, the greenery on wet ground. Yeah, it's really hard to describe. You really have to smell this one and just let it sit on your skin. Like, it didn't really develop much on my skin. Maybe for others it does develop, but if you're going for that unique factor and you can handle the scent, then yeah, go for it. I think this is definitely something that will make heads turn. Longevity is quite good too, because when I scrubbed it, it just won't go away. So that is the second perfume in the line, the Onjaden line. Third one that came out will be the Onjaden Apres Le Mousson. So it is a garden after the rain. That one I have a full bottle because someone was selling it cheap. So this is how the box looks like for that one. And see, if you look at the print and the elephant, the theme here is very, very much like India, because I think they are imagining a monsoon, or after the rain, after a monsoon rain in India. So this will be kind of like Singapore. It's a hot country. So sometimes when it rains, it doesn't really feel refreshing afterwards. It actually feels more steamy. It feels like, the ground is giving off all this steam. So it's actually more hot. It's not fresh. It looks like it's gonna get fresher, but not really. But because it's India, there is also a lot of spice there, I believe. So that spice just mixes in with after the rain smell, or during the downpour smell. Yeah, so let's see, where's my bottle? So here is the bottle for it, and I have it quite big. I'm afraid I might have to resell this because I just can't wear this one. This is very masculine. It's a fresh, spicy perfume. Yeah, how's that for like an explanation, right? It has ginger, cardamom, lots and lots of like spices that is common in India. and it's definitely a mood perfume. Like I said, it's after the rain. It's not uplifting. It's still dark. It's still like all the plants are still kind of like, after a downpour, all the leaves are just like, falling. That's how it feels like to me, and I don't really like that. I prefer happy, happy, uplifting perfumes. So definitely, if you're emo, this might work well for you. If you're a guy, it might work for a young guy actually. But I have to say, all this perfume in this line, I wouldn't really recommend it for anyone under 25. They are quite mature scents. Um, so yeah, so that's just from my point of view. Another thing about this is a lot of people do say they smell melon, and I do smell melon. At first, I was confused. What are you talking about? Like melon? There is no melon in the notes. No, nothing that fruity. But I try to remember what a melon looks like since I haven't eaten one for a long time. So I see what they're trying to get at. It's not ripe melon. It's actually like melon that is unripe. That is what I smell from this. And that's probably what people smell. So it's not like the sweet ripeness of like a melon. It's like, it's still greenish. The skin is still greenish. So that's what I think people are referring to. So yeah, so that's very interesting, but not my thing. Next thing is Un Jardin Sur Le Toit. Is it Sur Le Toit? Yeah, Sur Le Toit, which is a garden on the roof. And this is my favorite. This one. This was released back in 2011, and I believe and I did a whole video talking about this particular perfume and actually comparing it to Sur Le Nil, because they're both green and I was confused as to which one I want to get. Now this one, I think Jean-Claude Elena looked at the garden on the roof of the Hermes flagship building or store in France. And there they've got, rosemary, they have an apple tree, you got grass. So all these notes are in here. And it is, to me, it's a happy scent. Yeah, definitely the happiest, I think, out of all of them. And the most feminine, like sways more on the feminine side, whereas the others are more masculine. I'm not saying that guys can't wear this. Definitely guys can. But yeah, this is a bit more fruity. Maybe that's why I like it. I definitely smell that apple pear type of like scent in it, and makes it a bit sweet. It's not tart, it's not spicy, but it's a fresh sweet type of perfume, and I really really like this one. So fruity floral perfume. And like I mentioned before, the grass is really a nice background to it. It's not like out there, so it doesn't make it unusual, that kind of freshly cut grass smell. Yeah, you gotta try this one. If you ever want to try anything from this line, try this one, because I like it. So next will be 2015. So 2015 is the last perfume in the series, Un Jardin. Un Jardin Monsieur Li. Yes, here we go. Un Jardin de Monsieur Li, the garden of Mr. Li. Li, I am assuming it is a Chinese garden because Li is more of a Chinese last name. And this is the last one on the line that was made by Jean-Claude Elena. And this one I like. Second one that I like from Sur Le Toit. This is very fresh. with a kumquat in it. Now I also did a separate review for this. I have a video where I only talked about this one. This one is very, very refreshing. Refreshing and floral with a jasmine sandbag. I think it has a very strong jasmine sandbag. It's very linear. It's unisex, but it can really lean both feminine and masculine. But to me, this is more wearable for women, just like Sur Le Toit. So if you want a very refreshing perfume, this one, Sur Le Nil, Onjaden Mediterranean, and what was the other one? Sur Le Toit. Those are the ones that I would recommend. Last one in the series is Onjaden Sur Le Lagune. So this one would be a garden in the middle of a lagoon. I think Venice might be the inspiration for this. A lagoon, you know, like Venice, so there's a garden. So I expect this perfume to be more water-like, wet. And this, released in 2009, is not by Jean-Claude Elena, but by Christine Nagel, which is the creator of Dior, Miss Dior Cherie 2005, the original. So I expected really good stuff from this, but no. Yeah, just this one. Again, it leans very masculine. There's a bottle for it. Initially, I thought I would like it. It's got that salty ambroxan in it. I think the ambroxan is quite strong. They say amber, but I think it's more ambroxan because it's the ambroxan that I smell in Baccarat Rouge 540. It starts off with me thinking that I'm gonna like it, but then then it just gets too obnoxious, that salty ambroxan, and I don't like it. It start to remind me of a ginger, not ginger, of Twilly Eau Pauvre, which is this one. This is the one that I said start to kind of smell like gas, you know, like gasoline, and I really didn't like that. It's like kind of burning gasoline, burning plastic, and yeah, it just rubbed me off the wrong way. So yeah, it reminded me of Hermes Twilly. The part that I like, the saltiness, salty aquatic smell, it reminded me of this one. What's this called? Eau de Mauve Bleu, again by Hermes. And this one, I love this one. Very, very fresh, like this scent. Yeah, fresh, salty ocean or seawater. That's why I thought I would like this, but you know, sadly, it didn't cut it. I don't mind the lily at all, which is something I don't like, lily. But that's not what like bugged me about it. Like, so yeah. Unfortunately, to me, that is just not my cup of tea. Maybe my expectation was really high because of what I know of Christine Nagel, but yeah, it's not sexy. I don't find it that fresh. In fact, I find it like kind of like a heavy cologne aftershave for the males use. So not my thing. There are people that like it. It's just not for me. Maybe there is that something in that ambroxan note that is rubbing me the wrong way. It's got to be something that is only used by Hermes, because this is the second time I smell that kind of burning gasoline or plastic smell. So yeah, this video is a bit long, but we did go through 6 perfumes, and I hope you find it helpful, and I hope it'll help you decide which ones you'd like to try at the Hermes counter and get if you're thinking of getting one of these perfumes in the garden line. All beautiful perfumes, some of them not for me, but I definitely have my favorites. So if this is something you like, please press share, like, and subscribe. Thank you.